Good afternoon, everyone. This is North Shore Preparedness coming to you from the beautiful shores of Lake Ontario. Today is Sunday, June the 28th, 2020, and we're about around 1:30 in the afternoon here. It's supposed to get warm here. We're supposed to get around 29 degrees, which is somewhere in and around 88 or 90 for my American brothers and sisters, and we have a steady breeze out of the northwest coming in, varying between 5 and 15 miles per hour. So it's for now it's a peach of a day. It hasn't quite warmed up yet, but it's starting to get muggy. So I got up out of bed early today, early for a weekend. I tend to like to sleep in on the weekends, but I also find you get more done when you get out of bed early. So I did that today, and I thought I had myself a cup of coffee, and I thought, well, got some time on my hands this morning, and I hadn't been to the flea market since last year. Now, it just opened up a couple weeks ago, and I've been wanting to go, and I thought, well, maybe I'll take the opportunity and I'll head over to the flea market and see if there's any treasures that I can find. So I did end up finding a few treasures, not many, but all of them will be very, very useful, and you know, of course, I didn't end up paying full price for anything, you know. These are all second-hand goods or what have you. So flea market stuff at flea market prices. So I just thought I'd share with you what I ended up getting. Not many treasures, but treasures nonetheless. Now, the first thing I'll show you is these buckets. I got a stack of 7 buckets. These are food-grade buckets, and they were $3 a piece. And so I said to the lady, okay, I got a $20 bill here. Can I have 7 for the $20? And she said, yeah, that's no problem whatsoever. Now these ones, these particular buckets had California short shredded orange peel in these buckets. And when I first saw them, you know, they were wet. They had just been washed and rinsed out, these buckets. So I stuck my head in just to see if they were clean and whatever else, and the smell of oranges coming out of these buckets was amazing. You guys know that orange peel has a great deal of oils in it, and those oils are very, very strong in smell. So yeah, it was an amazing smell coming out of these buckets, but yes, they're nice and clean, and I will be using those to plant, let me see, you can see that I'll be planting these snap peas into these buckets, and I'll be trellising those. I'll be making a raised bed out of those buckets just for these peas. So I'll trellis those all up. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make them all into one big big raised bed, or if I'm gonna have a couple of them around here and there. My space is pretty limited back here in the tiny garden, so I'll have to see what I can come up with for those. So anyways, yeah, 7 new buckets, either for gardening or for work. I'm a drywall taper, so I use buckets all the time to mix my materials in. Next treasure I found was this garden tool, which I've been wanting to get for a long, long time. This is a garden claw. You just stick it in the ground, and you use these handles that are sort of like bicycle handles, and you give it a twist, and that helps to loosen up your break up and loosen up your soil so that it's more workable. Now, I had been using a hand old school like a 5-tonged garden cultivator, and it's very, very effective. Like, I got it at a yard sale years ago as well for $3 or $5 or something like that, but it's a lot of work to use. So this, I'm hoping, is going to make things a bunch easier for me. Now, when I found this, there was 3 of them in the gentleman's booth. So I inspected all of them, and I picked out this one. This was in the best condition, and it was the most sturdy. So I picked this one up, and I had to take a walk around really to find the gentleman who I could pay for it. And so I asked him what the price was, and he says, well, it's $15. And you know, that's such a good deal. I didn't even haggle the price a bit with the guy. I could have offered him 10, and maybe we could have settled at $12.50 or $13, but you know, I wasn't even gonna bother bartering for that kind of money, because I think if you go over to Home Depot to or Tractor Supply or whatever, to try and pick one of these up. I think they're 50 or 60 bucks. So I think they made it really, really well on that, and that's definitely going to help out in the garden. Now, something else I also got from a different booth is I got this new to me camera tripod, and this is great. This is an old school one. It's fairly heavy. It's made out of solid materials rather than the light plastics of some of the newer ones. But this is very, very sturdy, so I'm never going to have a problem with it falling over. It functions really, really well, and it's about 5.5 feet tall. So it's really going to help me making vids, especially doing cooking videos if I need to get overhead shots or anything like that. This is going to help big time until I get like a sort of overhead boom type stand. So this again, I didn't bother haggling the price on this at all. It was 20 bucks. The gentleman said he had been asking 20 bucks, and I said, well, what are you asking now? He's like, well, I'm not going to drop my price on that because it's $130 or $140 stand all day long. And you know what? To be honest with you, he's right. This is a very, very good stand, so I was happy to give him the 20 bucks on that. So yeah, that's going to help me out with doing some vids and taking pictures. These things are going to help me out with the garden and work. And I also got a few other items over here, which I'll show you. I found a couple of, let me see if I can zoom back on that. I found a couple of quart mason jars that were like 50 cents a piece. So I inspected them, and you know, they were in good condition, so I picked those up. 50 cents a piece for these quart jars is way less than half price up here. You know, I think for a flat, a dozen of these, I was looking at another garden center yesterday, and I think they wanted 20 or 30 bucks for a flat, a dozen of these quart jars. So I was happy to find a couple at 50 cents a piece. What I also got is a set of measuring spoons, set of plastic measuring spoons. You can see they were 25 cents. They don't have the ring in the top, but I don't care. I'll put a little plastic zip tie through that or something. And you know, you can never have any too many measuring spoons around, so those will tuck into the drawer where I keep my other measuring spoons. Now, what else I got was this huge mixing bowl, this huge stainless mixing bowl. You can see there, I paid $3 for it, which is a deal all day long. So I got that, and that's gonna it's super wide, this one, so this is gonna be great for doing things like making my sauerkraut in. You know, when you gotta process it together with the salt. So so those are some of the finds. And the final thing I did get, now I know these aren't N95 masks. My N95s, I use them for work. These ones are reusable cloth masks. They're washable, and I got these two. They were $3 a piece, or 2 for $5, so I decided to grab 2, and I got them in the camo pattern because who don't love camo, right? So that was a good enough deal, and I had been meaning to get some reusable ones anyways. So those are all the treasures that I got. I thought I'd just make a short video and share that with you guys. You know, I'm always looking for either more tools or more things that I can garden with, or more things I can add in for my preps. So this was a decent, fairly small haul today. You know, it did end up costing me, you know, sort of $60 or whatever all together. But had I gone out and purchased all these things new, like those buckets brand new, they're $5.99 plus tax with no lid. So I got those for half price and less the tax. So if you want them with lids, they're over toward $10. That garden claw's $60. The camera stand is $120 or more. And these items here, you know, that's a $2 jar, that's a $2 jar. They probably want, you know, $3 or $4 if you wanted to go buy a new set of those, and this bowl here might be 12 or 15 bucks. You know, over at Walmart or some department store. But those are my flea market finds for today, and I just wanted to share with you guys what I was doing, the items I happened to find, and that's it. So I hope everyone's having a great day. It's hot where you are. I hope you're staying cool. Yeah, everybody enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Okay, so this is North out for now. Stay well, everyone.